Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a movie that was known as one of the worst trilogy closers of all time. That being Spider-Man 3, The Rise of Bully Maguire. And a lot of memes. This film put such a bitter taste in people's mouths that after this film came out, they just decided to reboot the franchise as a whole. But something strange has happened with this film as time has gone on. The perception of this movie has started to change in interesting ways. After 14 long years have passed, people have really started to come around to this film. Except for the actual director of the film himself, but we'll get to that. But today I want to talk about what I think caused Spider-Man 3 to finally find forgiveness.
Now dig on this. When are you gonna give a guy a break?
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
Now, I think there were a lot of reasons why Spider-Man 3 has gone from being so hated to being surprisingly liked. The first reason is the Amazing Spider-Man films. After Raimi's films, Sony rebooted the franchise with the two Amazing Spider-Man films. And the reception to those were very mixed, especially to the second one. I have no idea why.
Time for me to light my candle.
The Amazing films went for this much darker tone, and a lot of people who crapped on the Raimi films for being like, this isn't funny like Spider-Man, this isn't the right tone, and then they got the Amazing ones and they were like, oh wait, this is much worse. And after seeing those two films, I think people started to kind of miss what we had before, that being Toby. Then over the years, word began to come out that a lot of studio tampering happened with Spider-Man 3. We learned how producer Avi Arad manipulated Sam Raimi into putting Venom in this film. He basically told him, if you don't put Venom in this film, the fans will hate you. I can only imagine that their phone call went down like this. Listen to me, Sam, okay? If Venom doesn't lead to at least 3 musical numbers, the fans are gonna hate you, Sam. And we saw that a lot of the film's problems weren't even his fault. Like, Sam literally didn't even want Venom. And even though we see it wasn't all Raimi's fault, Raimi still humbly took all of the blame on his shoulders and to this day says that all the blame should be put on him, which is really just so respectable and it really shows his character. But after Spider-Man 3 came out and was such a disappointment, this desperately drove Sam Raimi to wanting to make a 4th film. And in all these interviews, we see that Raimi had so much passion for this story, for these characters, and he desperately wanted to make that 4th film, but then the studio started pushing him again and eventually he just couldn't take it and left the project, which is so sad.
Good riddance.
Once again, this is probably what the call sounded like. Sam, listen to me, okay? It's my birthday, time to light my candles is a great line, and if you don't appreciate it, then you can walk away. But I think looking back, a lot of us are so sad that we never got that 4th film. Now my next point is a pretty major reason to why I believe this film has been redeemed in so many people's eyes, and that is, it's thanks to Marvel. The MCU, while definitely still an incredible feat, can sometimes feel like a mass-produced product. And I think that's just a side effect of them making so many movies and so many shows that all feel relatively similar. And I think a lot of people are just very frustrated by how safe the MCU feels sometimes, especially with their Spider-Man. So now a lot of people are saying the MCU feels kind of bland without these real characters with real stories and real emotions, and this causes people to look back at the pre-MCU film, like Spider-Man 3, and they see things like, you know, as much as Venom is hated, using the symbiote as a metaphor for the choice to be evil is more bold than MCU now, and we just don't get scenes like the dramatic birth of Sandman anymore, and nowadays we get much less hip thrust. What are y'all doing, Marvel? And I think this has caused a lot of people to go, you know, Spider-Man 3 isn't perfect, but I can really still see where the director tried to craft this great story, and even if it didn't work, he really went for it. And now that the MCU might end up featuring Tobey Maguire, nobody's like, ugh, you know, I'm so done with that franchise after Spider-Man 3. No! People are losing their freaking minds about Tobey maybe appearing in No Way Home. And I think that just emphasizes how much the reception of this film has changed. Also, like, if Tobey doesn't show up in this film, I think the world might actually end. There will be an eruption of chaos and anger. The world may end. The world may end. And the last reason I believe this movie has been redeemed in culture is memes. Yeah, seriously.
Now dig on this.
Much like the prequels, I believe that the memes of this film has helped people look back on this film more fondly. This film just sparked an insane amount of quotable lines that, frankly, make for great memes. I mean, there's a reason I've been able to use so many little clips from Spider-Man 3 in this video. It's because there's just so many memorable lines. In the end, Spider-Man 3 is not regarded as some perfect masterpiece now, but over the years, it has gone from a disappointing film that ruined a trilogy to a now more appreciated and accepted film. And I really think that it's not often that a film gets that kind of redemption, and I just think that's really special. Hey, and I'm just saying, with Sam Raimi directing Marvel movies again, maybe there's a chance that he could come back and revisit this world and give us that true grand finale we've always wanted. Anyways, those were just my thoughts on why I believe Spider-Man 3 has had such a redemption in culture. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe, you know the drill. But I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya, chump!